The book of Joshua, starting with chapter 10, which goes over a miraculous day. We're going over sweeping victories at the waters of Meron and victory over cities, victories reviewed, division of the land, and Reuben's allotment. So let's get into chapter 10 of the book of Joshua. Now it came to pass when Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, had heard how Joshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho her king. So he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel and were among them. That they feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, because it was greater than Ai, and all the men thereof were mighty. Whereof Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, said unto Hoham, king of Hebron, and unto Piram, king of Jarmuth, and unto Japhia, king of Lachish, and unto Debir, king of Eglon, saying, Come up unto me, and help me, that we may smite Gibeon, for it had made peace with Joshua and with the children of Israel. Therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, gathered themselves together, and went up, they and all their host, and encamped before Gibeon, and made war against it. And the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp to Gilgal, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servants, come up to us quickly, and save us, and help us. For all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. So Joshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. And Mighty God AHAYAH said unto Joshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thine hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee. Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly, and went up from Gilgal all night. And Mighty God AHAYAH discomfited them before Israel, and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them along the way that goeth up to Beth-horon, and smote them to Azekah unto Makkedah. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Israel, and were in the going down to Beth-horon, that Mighty God AHAYAH cast down great stones from heaven unto them unto Azekah, and they died. There were more which died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. Then spake Joshua to Mighty God AHAYAH in the day when Mighty God AHAYAH delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still unto Gibeon, and thou, moon, in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Asher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. And there was no day like that before it or after it, that the Mighty God AHAYAH hearkened unto the voice of a man. But Mighty God AHAYAH fought for Israel. And Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, unto the camp of Gilgal. But these 5 kings fled, and hid themselves in a cave at Makkedah. And it was told Joshua, saying, The 5 kings are found hid in a cave at Makkedah. And Joshua rolled great stones upon the mouth of the cave, and set men by it for to keep them. And stay you not, but pursue after your enemies, and smite the hindmost of them. Suffer not to enter into their cities, for Mighty God AHAYAH your Elohim had delivered them into your hand. And it came to pass, when Joshua and the children of Israel had made an end of slaying them with a very great slaughter, till they were consumed, that the rest which remained of them entered into fenced cities. And all the people returned to the camp to Joshua at Makkedah in peace, none moved his tongue against any of the children of Israel. Then said Joshua, Open the mouth of the cave, and bring out those 5 kings unto me out of the cave. And they did so, and brought forth those 5 kings unto him out of the cave, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon. And it came to pass, when they brought out those kings unto Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel, and said unto the captains of the men of war, which went with him, Come near, put your feet upon the necks of these kings. And they came near, and put their feet upon the necks of them. And Joshua said unto them, Fear not, nor be dismayed. Be strong and of good courage. For thus shall Mighty God AHAYAH do to all your enemies against whom you fight. And afterward Joshua smote them, and slew them, and hanged them on 5 trees. And they were hanging upon the trees until the evening. And it came to pass at the time of the going down of the sun, that Joshua commanded that they took them down off the trees, and cast them into the cave wherein they had been hid, and laid great stones in the cave's mouth, which remain unto this very day. And that day Joshua took Makkedah, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and the king thereof he utterly destroyed, them and all the souls that were within. He let none remain, and he did to the king of Makkedah as he did unto the king of Jericho. Then Joshua passed from Makkedah, and all Israel with him unto Libnah, and fought against Libnah. And Mighty God AHAYAH delivered it also, and the king thereof, into the hand of Israel. And he smote it with the edge of the sword. And all the souls that were therein, he let none remain in it, but did unto the king thereof as he did unto the king of Jericho. And Joshua passed from Libnah, and all Israel with him, unto Lachish, and encamped against it, and fought against it. And Mighty God AHAYAH delivered Lachish into the hand of Israel, which took it on the 2nd day, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and all the souls that were therein, according to all that he had done to Libnah. Then Horam, king of Gezer, came up to help Lachish, and Joshua smote him and his people, until he had left him none remaining. And from Lachish Joshua passed into Eglon, and all Israel with him, and they encamped against it, and fought against it. And they took it on that day, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and all the souls that were therein he utterly destroyed that day, according to all that he had done to Lachish. And Joshua went up from Eglon, and all Israel with him, unto Hebron, and they fought against it. And they took it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and the king thereof, and all the cities thereof, and all the souls that were therein, he left none remaining, according to all that he had done to Eglon, but destroyed it utterly, and all the souls that were therein. And Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, to Debir, and fought against it. And he took it, and the king thereof, and all the cities thereof, and they smote them with the edge of the sword, and utterly destroyed all the souls that were therein. He left none remaining. As he had done to Hebron, so he did to Debir, and to the king thereof, as he had done also to Libnah, and to her king. So Joshua smote all the country of the hills, and of the south, and of the vale, and of the springs, and all their kings. He left none remaining, but utterly destroyed all that breathed, as Mighty God AHAYAH, El Elohi of Israel, commanded. And Joshua smote them from Kadesh Barnea even unto Gaza, in all the country of Goshen, even unto Gibeon. And all these kings in their land did Joshua take at one time, because Mighty God AHAYAH, El Elohi of Israel, fought for Israel. And Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, unto camp to Gilgal, to the camp Gilgal. Chapter 11, at the waters of Merom. And it came to pass, when Jabin, king of Hazor, had heard those things, that he sent to Jobab, king of Madon, and to the king of Shimron, and to the king of Akshaph, and to the king that were on the north of the mountains, and of the plains south of Chinnerah, and in the valley, and in the borders of Dor on the west, and to the Canaanite on the east and on the west, and to the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Jebusite in the mountains, and to the Hivite under Hermon, in the land of Mizpeh. And they went out, they and all their host with them, much people, even as the sand that is upon the seashore in multitude, with horses and chariots very many. And when all these kings were met together, they came and pitched together at the waters of Merom to fight against Israel. And Mighty God AHAYAH said unto Joshua, Be not afraid because of them, for tomorrow about this time will I deliver them up all slain before Israel. Thou shalt hold their horses and burn their chariots with fire. So Joshua came and all the people of war with him against them by the waters of Merom suddenly, and they fell upon them. And Mighty God AHAYAH delivered them into the hand of Israel, who smote them, and chased them unto great Zidon, and unto Mizraphoth Maim, and unto the valley of Mizpeh eastward, and they smote them until they left them none remaining. And Joshua did unto them as Mighty God AHAYAH bade him. He hold their horses and burnt their chariots with fire. And Joshua at that time turned back and took Hazor, and smote the king thereof with the sword, where Hazor before time was the head of all those kingdoms. And they smote all the souls that were therein with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying them. There was not any left to breathe, and he burned Hazor with fire. And all the cities of those kings and all the kings of them did Joshua take, and smote them with the edge of the sword, and he utterly destroyed them, as Moses the servant of Mighty God AHAYAH commanded. But as for the cities that stood still in their strength, Israel burned none of them, save Hazor only, that did Joshua burn. And all the spoil of these cities and the cattle the children of Israel took for a prey unto themselves. But every man they smote with the edge of the sword, until they had destroyed them, neither left they any to breathe. As Mighty God AHAYAH commanded Moses his servant, so did Moses command Joshua, and so did Joshua. He left nothing undone of all that Mighty God AHAYAH commanded Moses. So Joshua took all that land, the hills, and all the south country, and all the land of Goshen, and the valley, and the plain, and the mountain of Israel, and the valley of the same, even from the Mount Halak, that goeth up to Seir, even unto Baal-gad, in the valley of Lebanon, under the Mount Hermon, and all their kings he took, and smote them, and slew them. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. There was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel, save the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. All other they took in battle. For it was of Mighty God AHAYAH to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle, that he might destroy them utterly, and that they might have no favor, but that he might destroy them, as Mighty God AHAYAH commanded Moses. And at that time came Joshua and cut off the Anakims from the mountain, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the mountain of Judah, and from all the mountains of Israel. Joshua destroyed them utterly with their cities. There was none of the Anakims left in the land of the children of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod there remained. So Joshua took the whole land, according to all that Mighty God AHAYAH said unto Moses. And Joshua gave it for an inheritance unto Israel, according to their divisions by their tribes. And the land rested from war. Chapter 12. We're going over victories reviewed. Now these are the kings of the land which the children of Israel smote, and possessed their land on the other side of Jordan, toward the rising of the sun, from the river Arnon unto Mount Hermon, and all the plain on the east. Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, and ruled from Aroer which is upon the bank of the river Arnon, and from the middle of the river, and from the half Gilead, even unto the river Jabbok, which is the border of the children of Ammon, and from the plain to the sea of Chinneroth on the east, and unto the sea of the plain, even the salt sea on the east, the way to Beth Jeshemoth, and from the south unto Ashdod-Pisgah, and the coast of Og, king of Bashan, which was of the remnant of the giants that dwelt at Ashtaroth and at Edrei, and reigned in Mount Hermon, and in Salcah, and in all Bashan unto the border of Geshurites, and the Maacathites, and half Gilead, the border of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Them did Moses, the servant of Mighty God AHAYAH, and the children of Israel smite. And Moses, the servant of Mighty God AHAYAH, gave it for a possession unto the Reubenites, and the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh. And these are the kings of the country which Joshua and the children of Israel smote on this side of Jordan, on the west, from Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon, even unto the Mount Halak, that goeth up to Seir, which Joshua gave unto the tribes of Israel for a possession, according to their divisions. In the mountains, and in the valleys, and in the plains, and in the springs, and in the wilderness, and in the south country, the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, the king of Jericho, 1, the king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1, the king of Jerusalem, 1, the king of Hebron, 1, the king of Jarmuth, 1, the king of Lachish, 1, the king of Eglon, 1, the king of Gezer, 1, king of Debir, 1, the king of Geder, 1, the king of Hormah, 1, the king of Arad, 1, the king of Libnah, 1, the king of Adullam, 1, the king of Makkedah, 1, the king of Bethel, 1, the king of Tappuah, 1, the king of Hepher, 1, the king of Aphek, 1, the king of Lashan, 1, the king of Madon, 1, the king of Hazor, 1, the king of Shimron, 1, the king of Akshaph, 1, the king of Taanach, 1, the king of Megiddo, 1, the king of Kadesh, 1, the king of Jonathan of Carmel, 1, the king of Dor in the coast of Dor, 1, the king of the nations of Gilgal, 1, the king of Tirzah, 1, all the kings 30 and 1. Chapter 13. Division of the land, and we're talking about Reuben's allotment. Now Joshua was old and stricken in years, and Mighty God AHAYAH said unto him, Thou art old and stricken in years, and there remaineth yet very much land to be possessed. This is the land that yet remaineth, all the borders of the Philistines, and all Geshuri, from Sihor, which is before Egypt, even unto the borders of Ekron, northward, which is counted to the Canaanite, 5 lords of the Philistines, the Gazarites, and the Ashdarites, and the Ashkelonites, the Gittites, and the Ekronites, also the Avitites. From the south, all the land of the Canaanites, and Marah there is beside the Sidonians, unto Aphek, to the borders of the Amorites, and the land of the Giblites, and all Lebanon toward the sunrising from Baal Gad, under Mount Hermon, unto the entering into Hamath. All the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon unto Misrephoth Maim, and all the Sidonians, them will I drive out from before the children of Israel. Only divide thou it by lot unto the Israelites for an inheritance, as I have commanded thee. Now therefore divide this land for an inheritance unto the 9 tribes and the half tribe of Manasseh, with whom the Reubenites and the Gadites have received their inheritance, which Moses gave them beyond Jordan eastward, even as Moses the servant of Mighty God AHAYAH gave them, from Aroer that is upon the bank of the river Arnon, and the city that is in the midst of the river, and all the plain of Medeba unto Dibon, and all the cities of Sihon, king of the Amorites, which reigned in Heshbon, unto the border of the children of Ammon, and Gilead, and the border of the Geshurites and Maccathites, and all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan unto Sokah, all the kingdom of Og in Bashan, which reigned in Ashtaroth, and in Edrei, who remained of the remnant of the giants. For these did Moses smite, and cast them out. Nevertheless the children of Israel expelled not the Geshurites, nor the Maacathites, but the Geshurites and the Maacathites dwell among the Israelites unto this day. Only unto the tribe of Levi he gave none inheritance. The sacrifices of Mighty God AHAYAH, El Elohi of Israel, made by fire, or their inheritance, as he said unto them. And Moses gave unto the tribe of the children of Reuben inheritance according to their families. And their coast was from Aroer, that is on the bank of the river Arnon, and the city that is in the midst of the river, and all the plain of Medeba, Heshbon, and all her cities that are in the plain, Debon, and Bamoth Baal, and Beth Baal Meon, and Jahaza, and Kedemoth, and Mephaath, and Kirjatharim, and Sibmah, and Zarethshahar, in the mount of the valley, and Beth Peor, and Ashta Pisgah, and Beth Sheimoth, and all the cities of the plain, and all the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, which reigned in Heshbon, whose Moses smote with the princes of Midian, Evi, and Rechem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba, which were dukes of Sihon, dwelling in the country. Balaam also the son of Beor, the soothsayer, did the children of Israel slay with the sword among them that were slain by them. And the border of the children of Reuben was Jordan, and the border thereof. This was the inheritance of the children of Reuben after their families, the cities and the villages thereof. And Moses gave inheritance unto the tribe of Gad, even unto the children of Gad according to their families. And their coast was Jazer, and all the cities of Gilead, and half the land of the children of Ammon unto Aroer, that is before Rabbah, and from Heshbon unto Ramath Mizpah, and Betonim, and from Mahanaim unto the border of Debir, and in the valley Betharam, and Beth Nimrah, and Succoth, and Zaphon, the rest of the kingdom of Sihon, king of Heshbon, Jordan and his border, even unto the edge of the sea of Chinnereth, on the other side of Jordan eastward. This is the inheritance of the children of Gad after their families, the cities and their villages. And Moses gave inheritance unto the half tribe of Manasseh, and this was the possession of the half tribe of the children of Manasseh by their families. And their coast was from Mahanaim, all Bashan, all the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and all the towns of Jair, which are in Bashan, 80 cities, and half Gilead, and Ashtaroth, and Edrei, cities of the kingdom of Og in Bashan, were pertaining unto the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, even to the one half of the children of Machir by their families. These are the countries which Moses did distribute from inheritance in the plains of Moab, on the other side of Jordan, by Jericho eastward. But unto the tribe of Levi Moses gave not any inheritance. Mighty God AHAYAH, El Elohi of Israel, was their inheritance, as he said unto them. Chapter 14. And these are the countries which the children of Israel inherited, the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel, distributed for an inheritance to them. By lot was their inheritance, as Mighty God AHAYAH commanded by the hand of Moses, for the 9 tribes, and for the half tribe. For Moses had given the inheritance of 2 tribes, and an half tribe of the other side Jordan. But unto the Levites he gave none inheritance among them. For the children of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. Therefore they gave no part unto the Levites in the land, save cities to dwell in with their suburbs, for their cattle and for their substance. As Mighty God AHAYAH commanded Moses, so the children of Israel did, and they divided the land. Then the children of Judah came unto Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite said unto him, Thou knowest the thing that Mighty God AHAYAH said unto Moses, the man of Mighty God, concerning me and thee in Kadesh Barnea. 40 years old was I when Moses, the servant of Mighty God AHAYAH, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to espy out the land. And I brought him word again as it was in mine heart. Nevertheless, my brethren that went up with me made the heart of the people melt. But I wholly followed Mighty God AHAYAH, my Elohim. And Moses sware on that day, saying, Surely the land whereon thy feet have trodden shall be thine inheritance, and thy children's forever, because thou hast wholly followed Mighty God AHAYAH, my Elohim. And now, behold, Mighty God AHAYAH had kept me alive, as he said, these 45 years, even since AHAYAH spake this word unto Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness. And now, lo, I am this day 85 years old. As yet I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. As my strength was then, even so is my strength now, for war, both to go out and to come in. Now therefore give me this mountain, whereof Mighty God AHAYAH spake in that day, for thou heardest in that day how the Anakims were there, and that the cities were great and fenced. If so be Mighty God AHAYAH will be with me, then I shall be able to drive them out, as Mighty God AHAYAH said. And Joshua blessed him, and gave unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh Hebron for an inheritance. Hebron therefore became the inheritance of Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite unto this day, because that he wholly followed Mighty God AHAYAH, Elohim of Israel. The name of Hebron before was Kirjatharbah, which Arba was a great man among the Anakims. The land had rest from war. Chapter 15, Caleb's inheritance, and we're going over Israel borders as well as Judah's inheritance. Chapter 15. This then was the lot of the tribe of the children of Judah, by their families even to the border of Edom. The wilderness of Zin, southward, was the uttermost part of the south coast. And their south border was from the shore of the salt sea, from the bay that looketh southward. And it went out to the south side of Ma'al Akrabim, and passed along to Zin, and ascended up on the south side of Kadesh Barnea, and passed along to Hezron, and went up to Adar, and fetched a compass to Kaka'ah. From thence it passed toward Asmon, and went out unto the river of Egypt. And the goings out of that coast were at the sea. It shall be your south coast. The east border was the salt sea, even unto the end of Jordan. And their border in the north quarter was from the bay of the sea at the utmost part of Jordan. And the border went up to Beth-hoglah, and passed along by the north of Beth-arabah, and the border went up to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben. And the border went up toward Debir, from the valley of Achor unto northward, looking toward Gilgal, that is before the going up to Adaman, which is on the south side of the river, and the border passed toward the waters of Inshemesh, and the goings out thereof were of Enrogel. And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnon, unto the south side of the Jebusite. The same is Jerusalem, and the border went up to the top of the mountain that lieth before the valley of Hinnon, westward, which is at the end of the valley of the giants northward. The border was drawn from the top of the hill unto the fountain of the water of Nephtoah, and went out to the cities of Mount Ephron. And the border was drawn to Baalah, which is Kirjath-jearim. And the border compassed from Baal westward unto Mount Seir, and passed along unto the side of Mount Jararim, which is Chesalon, on the north side, and went down to Bethshemesh, and passed on to Timnah. And the border went out unto the side of Ekron northward, and the border was drawn to Shikron, and passed along to Mount Baalah, and went out unto Jabneel. The goings out of the border were at the sea. And the west border was to the great sea, and the coast thereof. This is the coast of the children of Judah round about according to their families. And unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh he gave a part among the children of Judah, according to the commandment of Mighty God AHAYAH to Joshua, even the city of Arba, the father of Anak, which city is Hebron. And Caleb drove thence the 3 sons of Anak, Sheshai, and Ahiman, and Talmai, the children of Anak. And he went up thence to the inhabitants of Debir, and the name of Debir before was Kirjathsepher. And Caleb said, He that smiteth Kirjathsepher, and taketh it, to him will I give Asah, my daughter, to wife. And Othniel the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave him Achsah, his daughter, to wife. And it came to pass, as she came unto him, that she moved him to ask of her father a field. And she lighted off her ass, and Caleb said unto her, What wouldest thou? Who answered, Give me a blessing, for thou hast given me a south land. Give me also springs of water. And he gave her the upper springs and the nether springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Judah, according to their families. And the utmost cities of the tribe of the children of Judah, toward the coast of Edom, southward, were Kabzeel the Eder, and Jagur, and Kanah, and Damathna, and Adana, and Kadesh, and Hazor, and Ithan, Ziph, and Telem, and Beloth, and Hazor, Hadattah, and Kirah, and Hazron, which is Hazor, Amam, and Shema, and Moladah, and Hazor Gathah, and Heshmon, and Beth Pelet, and Hazor Shual, and Beersheba, and Bizjah, Baal and Iam, and Azem, and El-Talad, and Chesil, and Hormah, and Ziklag, and Metmanah, and Sansamnah, and Lebaoth, and Shechem, and Iam, and Ramon, and all the cities are 29 with their villages. And all the valley of Eshtaol, and Zorah, and Ashnah, and Zanoah, and Indanim, Taphua, and Inam, Jarmuth, and Adulam, Succo, and Azkah, and Shararim, and Adaim, and Gadarah, and Gederoth-Iam, 14 cities with their villages. Zanan, and Hadashah, and Migdalgat, and Deliam, and Mizpah, and Joktheel, Lachish, and Boscath, and Eglon, and Kaban, and Lamam, and Kithlish, and Gederoth, Bedagon, and Naamah, and Makkedah, 16 cities with their villages. Libnah, and Ether, and Ashan, and Japhtha, and Ashnah, and Nezeb, and Keilah, and Achzib, and Marashah, 9 cities with their villages. Ekron with her towns and her villages. From Ekron even unto the sea, all that lay near Ashdod with their villages. Ashdod with her towns and her villages. Gaza with her towns and her villages, unto the river of Egypt, and the great sea, and the border thereof. And in the mountains, Shamir, and Jittir, and Soko, and Denah, and Kajarsana, which is Debir, and Anab, and Eshtemoth, and Anim, and Goshen, and Holon, and Gilo, 11 cities with their villages. Arab and Duma and Ashiam, and Janum and Betapua and Aphekah, and Humtah and Kajathaba, which is Hebron, and Zior, 9 cities with their villages. Maon, Carmel, and Ziph, and Juttah, and Jezreel, and Jokdeam, and Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 cities with their villages. Helho, Bethzur, and Gedor, and Maarath, and Bethanath, and El-Takan, 6 cities with their villages. Kirjath-Baal, which is Kirjath-Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages. In the wilderness of Beth-Arabah, Midin, and Sekakah, and Nibshan, and the city of Salt, and En-Gedi, 6 cities with their villages. As from the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out. But the Jebusites dwelled with the children of Judah at Jerusalem unto this day. Chapter 16. And the lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan by Jericho unto the water of Jericho on the east, to the wilderness that goeth up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel, and goeth out from Bethel to Luz, and passed it along unto the borders of Archi to Ataroth, and goeth down westward to the coast of Japhletai unto the coast of Bethhoron, the nether end to Gazer, and the goings out thereof, or at the sea. So the children of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim took their inheritance. And the border of the children of Ephraim, according to their families, was thus. Even the border of their families on the east side was Ataroth Adar, unto Beth Horon the upper. And the border went out toward the sea to Mechmethah on the north side. And the border went about eastward unto Taanath Shiloh, and passed by it on the east to Janahah. And it went down from Janahah to Ataroth and to Naarath, and came to Jericho, and went out at Jordan. The border went out from Tappuah westward unto the river Kanah, and the goings out thereof were at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim by their families. And the separate cities from the children of Ephraim were among the inheritance of the children of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. And they drave not out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites unto this day, and serve under tribute. Chapter 17. There was also a lot from the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph, to wit, for Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war. Therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families, for the children of Abiezer, and for the children of Helek, and for the children of Azriel, and for the children of Shechem, and for the children of Hepher, and for the children of Shemedah. These were the male children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, by their families. But Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons, but daughters. And these are the names of his daughters: Mahlah, and Noah, Haglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they came near before Eleazar the priest, and before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the princes, saying, Mighty God AHAYAH commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brethren. Therefore, according to the commandment of Mighty God AHAYAH, he gave them an inheritance among the brethren of their father. And there fell 10 portions to Manasseh, beside the land of Gilead and Bashan, which were on the other side of Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh had an inheritance among his sons. And the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. And the coast of Manasseh was from Asher to Michmethah, that lived before Shechem, and the border with along on the right hand unto the inhabitants of and Tappuah. Now Manasseh had the land of Tappuah, but Tappuah on the border of Manasseh belonged to the children of Ephraim. And the coast descended into the river Kana, southward of the river. These cities of Ephraim are among the cities of Manasseh. The coast of Manasseh also was on the north side of the river, and the outgoings of it were at the sea. Southward it was Ephraim's, and northward it was Manasseh's, and the sea is his border. And they met together in Asher on the north, and in Issachar on the east. And Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher Bashan and her towns, and Ibalam and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Taanach and her towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, even 3 countries. And we're going to stop there at chapter 17. Thank you for listening.